All right, let's dive right in. We are talking about something huge today. As artificial intelligence gets smarter and smarter, how in the world do we prepare our kids for a future that we can barely even picture? You see, the rise of AI isn't just about new gadgets or industries changing. It's forcing us to completely tear down and rebuild our entire idea of education. So let's get into what that future really needs to look like. To really set the stage here, let's start with this pretty shocking statement from Po-Shen Loh, a math professor over at Carnegie Mellon. He's basically saying, look, for all of human history, we've been the smartest things on the planet. That's about to change. And this isn't some far-off sci-fi movie plot. He says this is the single biggest challenge that our schools, our kids, our entire society has to face, like right now. And if you think that sounds like an exaggeration, get this. Google's AI recently went up against the International Math Olympiad. Now, these aren't your typical textbook problems. They are designed from scratch to be completely new, to push the absolute limits of human creativity. And the AI? It solved 4 out of the 6. That's an incredible performance on problems that are meant to be unsolvable without true invention. So just think about that for a second. If AI is already outperforming the very best human minds on brand new creative challenges, what on earth are we doing still clinging to an education model that was built for the industrial age? It feels like we've taken a massive wrong turn somewhere along the way. Professor Loh has this brilliant analogy for what's happening. He says that when a student uses AI to do their homework, it's like deciding to drive your car for a 1-mile run. Sure, you covered the distance, you got the answer, but you completely missed the entire point of the exercise, which was to build up your own mental muscles. And this really gets to the heart of the shift. For decades, the goal was to learn how to do the homework, how to execute the task. But now, the new goal has to be learning how to grade the homework. Since an AI can do the heavy lifting, the uniquely human skill is being able to look at the result and say, is this right? Is this good? Is this what we actually need? We have to move from being the calculators to being the thinkers who know which questions to ask in the first place. You know, our current system, with this crazy obsession on cramming for tests, it isn't just outdated, it's actually causing real harm. It's burning kids out, crushing their natural curiosity. And maybe, worst of all, it's teaching them this toxic idea that life is a zero-sum game, where you only win if someone else loses. Lowe points out that even the kids who win this game, the ones who get the perfect scores, they often end up feeling totally empty and lost, because they were taught that the whole point of life was just to beat the person next to them. Okay, so if the old skills of memorization and execution are on their way out, what should we be teaching? What are the new survival skills for a world filled with AI? While number 1 on the list is this idea of synthesis. This is just a fancy word for true, raw creativity. It's not about what you know, it's about what you do when you don't know. It's about piecing together clues to solve a puzzle you've never, ever seen before. When Lowe interviews people, he'll keep asking questions until he finds one they've absolutely never heard, just to see how they think on their feet. Can they synthesize a new solution out of thin air? That's what he's looking for. And beyond that raw creativity, the other skills that AI just can't touch are the ones that make us, well, human. Things like logical communication, being able to explain your thinking clearly, that's huge. But right at the very top, the 100% essential skill, empathy and connection. The ability to genuinely understand someone else, to feel their problems. That's not a soft skill anymore. In the AI age, it's our ultimate superpower. So what this all boils down to is that the entire purpose of education has to flip. It can't be about just filling a kid's brain with facts for a test anymore. The real goal has to be making them completely self-sufficient learners for the rest of their lives. We need to teach them how to teach themselves, anything, so they never need a formal class again. Okay, that all sounds amazing in theory, right? But how do you actually build a school or a program around these ideas? How do you take something so focused on human connection and make it work for lots of people? This is where it gets really clever. Lowe actually built what he calls a win-win-win ecosystem. So first win, middle schoolers get these super fun live math classes from high schoolers they can actually relate to. Second win, those high school math whizzes get a paying job that forces them to learn how to communicate and connect with people. And the third win, he pays university drama students to coach the high schoolers on how to be better communicators. It's this beautiful, self-powering system that actually teaches and rewards the very human skills we've been talking about. And what's so interesting is that this brilliant idea didn't just pop into his head overnight. It was a journey of like a decade of trial and error. It started with a free website, then paid courses, and the real missing piece of the puzzle, the importance of that human connection, actually came from his own personal experience taking an improv comedy class. It took years of tinkering to finally connect all those dots. So you see, this practical model is really built on top of a much deeper idea. This isn't just about finding a better way to teach. It's about a whole new philosophy for what it even means to be a human when you're sharing the planet with superintelligence. Which brings us to a question that Loh poses, and it's one we all really need to sit with. When an AI can do a job cheaper, faster, and probably better than you, why would anyone want you on their team? What do you, as a person, bring to the table? And the answer is surprisingly simple, but also really powerful. The reason someone wants to work with you is because you are genuinely, authentically motivated by making other people's lives better. Your value isn't just what you can do, it's that you truly enjoy bringing value and delight to others. That is something an AI can't fake. And this isn't just some feel-good platitude. It takes actual work. It means you have to get outside of your bubble. Loh did this himself. He traveled all over the country giving math talks in public parks and teaching in small rural schools, just to listen and understand what parents and kids were actually struggling with. It's about developing real empathy and using these new AI tools not to do the work for you, but as a lever to make you understand the world even more deeply. At the end of the day, the future isn't about trying to be more efficient than a machine. It's about leaning into what makes us human. The real joy in life, the purpose, comes from having your own unique contribution, from putting your own creative spin on things and adding your flavor to the world. So we'll leave you with this final thought. In a world where AI can do almost anything, the most important question isn't what can you do anymore, it's what unique human value will you choose to create for other people?